how the system works and how we can take benefits from this technology. So I am just going to recall and just gather all the knowledge you just heard sometime before. So we can just take a look to basic CRISPR-Cas and then which bioinformatics tools can help you guys to evaluate and to find out new genes or sequences and arrays. First of all, what is CRISPR-Cas and genome editing? What is genome? You guys know it very well. What genome is in actual, and genome editing is an engineered technique just to replace or insert or delete any mutated genome, yield of wheat or any other organism. After that, we have genome editing techniques. Why we have to edit the genome? There is some historical background we have, like Professor Jennifer and Schappanger in 2005 reported the mechanism of CRISPR-Cas. In actually, it was explained in 1987 by a Japanese professor what CRISPR-Cas is in actual. However, he was unable to explain the basic principle of that technology. After that, in 2003, Professor Jennifer and Schappanger just working on Streptococcus, and they found that this is the immune system of bacteria, how bacteria just save itself from different viruses and bacteriophages, and luckily they both got a Nobel Prize in 2020 for this revolutionary discovery. And this discovery just revolutionized the medicine, diseases, cured the diseases, increased the yield in plants, and many more. So here we have Professor Jennifer and Professor Schappanger. However, we also have Professor Chung here. I just want to mention here, he is the unsung hero of CRISPR-Cas. He also did very well. He is a Chinese American scientist. He also did very well. He also worked in Germany and Berlin. However, people don't know about that. So I just want to mention and I just want to appreciate this guy here who just have a big chunk in the discovery of CRISPR-Cas, Professor Feng Chen. So what is CRISPR-Cas? I just try to gather all the data explained by our worthy respected experts. So CRISPR-Cas in actually gene editing technology, and if we just break it, it is clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats. And if we just further break it, so we have a term repeats here, that is the repeat of sequences that we found in the genome of bacteria. So palindromic sequences, as you guys very well know, that we can read it on the both sides. For example, if we have any student named as Maham, so we can read it by both the sides. So madam, like madam word, M-A-D-A-M, so you can read it on the both sides. So similarly, the palindromic sequences we can read from both the sides of genome. So these palindromic sequences cannot be even and odd because you have to read it on the both sides. So we have the palindromic repeats present in the genome of bacteria. In actual, what happened if there is any virus or any bacteriophage, just as you know the concept of infection, or in the last time we have a COVID era, now we are in post-COVID era. So in COVID, you know, there was a virus SARS-CoV-2 that infected so many people in this world. So they just transfer the genetic material to the human being or any bacteria and just destroy it. So that is the in actual system. If there is no, and if there will be no immune system, like we have an immune system at the larger level, we have antibodies, antigens, white blood cells, and these just used to invade the foreign DNA or foreign proteins that is harmful for our system. Similarly, bacteria has an immune system known as CRISPR-Cas. So from this figure, I just try to explain what in actual this system is. So here we have some colors like blue, orange, red and green. So these are the unique sequences present in the palindromic repeats. In actual, these are the genome of bacteria that already infected the bacteria in the past years, and bacteria just take a copy to make itself secure. So here we have, before that, and in the later figure we have helicases and nucleases that just unwind the DNA and cut the DNA in the proper positions, that our respected colleagues already explained in very detail that how this two enzymes helps to cut the DNA and how this DNA unwind for our specific interest of gene. So why we study CRISPR-Cas through bioinformatics? So now we are going to jump in bioinformatics. Bioinformatics just help to solve all the biological problems or the major biological problems with the help of computational tools, mathematical algorithms, and the statistical interfaces. So we just gather all the computational power with the help of computational algorithms to solve the biological problems that in past we just performed different experiments in labs and spent millions of dollars for this research work. So here we just stop for a second and we will consider that bioinformatics is the need of every biologist nowadays. Every biologist has to learn the basics of bioinformatics, and the most powerful tool in bioinformatics is BLAST, local alignment, that helps you in many experiments of alignment and to find the new sequences or to find the similar sequences. So there are a long story of BLAST we have. After that, bioinformatics played a major role in the discovery of CRISPR-Cas after Professor Jennifer and Schepengier, also after Professor Chung. So when they discovered it, after that there was a Professor Mojica, I mentioned here somewhere maybe. Yes, there was a Professor Mojica. That professor just helped to gather the genes, new Cas genes, with the help of bioinformatics analysis, and just report that there was in the start there were many hypotheses related to the discovery of CRISPR-Cas. However, from where these unique DNA came from and what these repeats are in actual. So scientists are trying to explore it. However, Professor Mojica just explored it with the help of bioinformatics, that these chunks, that unique chunks, came from bacteriophages when they just used it local alignment and just found it that these specific unique gene came from the bacteria that in fact from virus that infected the bacteria in actual in past somewhere. And if you want, there were some sections that we already studied in our previous slide, that there are some spacers, and then we have that spacers are in actual unique sequences, and then we have palindromic repeats, and before that we had a ladder sequence or leader sequence that we used for promoter region, and before that we have Cas genes in actual. So this concept we will use for hunt or to explore the novel genes or to study more about that. So these are in actual three patches. First one you can consider as the unique genes, unique spacers with the palindromic sequences. Then you have a ladder region or leader region that is used for promoters, and then we have Cas genes in actual. So discovery depends on Cas genes. Already Dr. Naveed explained that Cas9, Cas14, Cas13, Cas1 just use, and the most important one is the Cas9 that just cut the nuclease DNA with the help of nuclease and perform the functions. So for a simple type of discovery, you just use the BLAST sequence or BLAST tool and just hunt out the new sequences for the Cas genes with the help of local alignment. So here we are going to discuss some software that will help you for exploring the CRISPR-Cas genes or arrays. In actual, the region having the unique spacers and palindromic sequence is also known as a CRISPR array. However, before that there is Cas genes. So the most famous two tools we have, that Caspr Finder and CRISPR-Cas Finder. So these are the most cited tools, and these tools help the researchers to explore many novel discoveries, and after that they just verify that discovery with the help of experimental approaches. So in this CRISPR-Cas there was a repeats. They just find the repeats because we have palindromic repeats in all over the genome that is just place everywhere. So we just check that repeats, direct repeats, and then there will be local alignment of that repeats to find that where these repeats are. After that we have a specific chunk of that DNA that we again and again filter with the help of different filters, if we have only in that software we will only use 23 nucleotides to 50 nucleotides of that chunk again and again, and if the similarity is more than 60% then we use it again and again, and the other reads we have that did not follow the filters will exclude out, and after that we will have a sequence that we can consider as a candidate CRISPR-Cas gene sequence. So this software is available in Perl language command line, but luckily we also have the software in web server. You can just open it, the link is here, or you can just Google it with the name and you will get it. You will just add the parameters, or you can change the threshold values as the interest of your experiment, and you will get the results. The most important point here is this, that everyone can use the softwares. You just have the link, just open it, add the sequence, you will have the result. But in actual, what a scientist knows is on which portion this software is working, what the software will produce. Now we have a very wonderful talk by Dr. Ali, and he explained about the phylogenetic trees. He has a software, he will add the data and there will be a tree. This is nothing. Dr. Ali knows that the software is producing gold or garbage. When the software is producing garbage, he will exclude, because he knows what is gold, what gold is in actual after the software. So he just extract that results from that. So you should be very careful that which software you are going to use, which principle that software is going to use, and what the results are in actual. After that we have a software PyLR-CR, and this is a tool designed for the identification of CRISPR repeats that we already discussed what CRISPR repeats and where it present in the CRISPR-Cas system, and which relies on a Pyro family of algorithm for the analysis of repeats. What is Pyro family? It's a algorithmic family that just generate a pile in actual. So what happened in this software? We have a repeat, so we just use that repeats with that that genome we use itself with the genome. And that because the genome already has repeats, so when we have the alignment of that repeats, so we will have that specific repeats and we generate a pile. That pile is in actual the number of nucleotides we have that has specific repeats in the spacer. And after that we add the spacer and we just add the mismatches at the flanking region of that specific DNA, and if then we add 90%. If there will be a 90% similarity, we will take that candidate and remaining will be excluded. And after that, when we have the results more than 90% of similarity, then we will take that in actual for further experiment that will be performed in the labs. We have another software that is CRISPR recognition tool. Before that we discussed three tools that are very important one, but that that take a long run time and the performance is good, so they just need a big RAM or a server computer, so they can if genome is long, very long, and if we are working on a big genomes, so the computer will be busy for a long time and sometimes there will be errors. So with the help of this software, CRISPR recognition tool, it just have a memory footprints, and that they just save the chunks and then use that chunks and just reduce the runtime and increase the performance. Similarly, the concept is same, and they just use the similarity search, and when they have the specific similarity with the specific number of nucleotides we have, then it just gives you the results. So it just generate similarity of k number, or you can design that k that suppose you want to check with the interest of your experiment or in that software, and then at every position from left to right, every time suppose you have 100 amino acids or 100 nucleotides, you just the software will start from 1 to 20, then 2 to 21, then 3 to 22, and just perform it one by one, and after that it just check it that which repeats just came again and again, and scrutinize that repeats for the further experiments. After that we have a software CRISPR detect that is in actual pipeline. We as we know as a bioinformatician that we have primary databases and secondary databases. Secondary databases has the data from pipelines that researchers just submit in the primary databases, and some pipelines just curate the data and annotate the data for us. Similarly, that software CRISPR detect just generate a pipeline and just use the data of another software that we already studied, CRISPR first one, the CRISPR-Cas finder, and then generate a library for your experiments. We have another software that is CRISPR Disco, and this just also works on an array, as we already mentioned earlier that we just have to work on the CRISPR array, and CRISPR array has a spacer and a unique DNA and the palindromic repeats. So every search was there, and we have to conclude that search from their specific values. MetaCRISPR comprises three major steps: as the identification of reads containing direct repeats, cluster of reads that likely belong to the same CRISPR locus, and assembly of CRISPR arrays. So in biology, sharing is caring. We know that. So different databases are available, and those databases just have the data extracted by different scientists from the different regions of the world, and they submitted the specific data into the databases so everyone can study it very easily. So we have three big databases related to the discovery of CRISPR-Cas that researchers just find some CRISPR-Cas genes or different arrays or palindromic sequences. So they just submit it to the databases so everyone can take benefit from that one. So we have the database CRISPR-DB. That was the first public database having 870 CRISPR arrays from 232 archaeal bacteria and 8069 CRISPR arrays from 6782 bacterial genomes. So these are present in that database. You just can have a look to the database, and you can extract that data for your experiment. So this database just shows the taxonomy, genomic sequence information, and how many repeats it has, how much length it is. After that, we have another database that is CRISPR-Cas prediction, that just take the data from CRISPR-Cas prediction tool that we discussed earlier, the CRISPR-Cas finder, and it also has a huge number of data, that information about CRISPR arrays, and 240 archaeal and 9224 bacterial genomes that are available on that database. If anyone has the just need that arrays and want to explore that the array he or she found by the bioinformatics analysis is duplicated or the novel one, he or she can explore these databases. We have another database that is CRISPR-1 web source, that is identified system, having 11,102 complete and 21,186 draft genomes available. Similarly, like previous databases, you can extract their databases data from that databases, and this database also help you to annotate the data with the help of hidden Markov model or HMMER software. So as we have data from related to CRISPR-Cas gene, so sometimes some researchers also reported the data that is not related to CRISPR-Cas. So researchers were working on that, and they found that the specific gene or protein is not the part of an actual CRISPR-Cas genes. So they just reported like anti-CRISPR database. So that the other researchers did not waste their time and money to just find out on the same protein or gene that is not related to CRISPR-Cas. So in this database you can get all those, and this database has 6 different families, and every family has related data reported. So what the future is in actual with the help of CRISPR-Cas? So we can, humans usually have more than 10,000 diseases with that caused by a single mutation, or different types of mutations you have, we have. So these mutations just mutate our genome, and different diseases we have here in this world. So with the help of CRISPR-Cas, you can just cure, or you can modify the genome for the betterment of a human beings. Viral diseases, we can also, different researchers are working on cancer. I was just in a discussion with Dr. Jawad earlier, and he was explaining and elaborating me about the liver cancer, that how researchers just working on liver cancer or try to cure the liver cancer with the help of CRISPR-Cas technique. So in future, we can make genetic eliminations for the germline, and some researchers claim that we can modify the human, and there are some ethical policies. We are not going deep in that one in actual. So we will just try to help the human being, and we will just try to solve the biological problems with the help of bioinformatics and CRISPR-Cas approaches. Thank you so much, everyone.